What's up, everybody? You're on with Ron in another episode of the Travel Nerds. What's going on, everybody? Before we get to the episode, please check us out on our social media. Like, share, subscribe. We really appreciate the support. Check us out on all our great social channels. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Las Vegas Resort Review, the Circus Circus Hotel and Casino. Circus Circus was opened in October of 1968. The main theme of Circus Circus, obviously, is circus theming and Midway Gaming. It's located in Las Vegas, Nevada, specifically on the south end of the Vegas Strip. It contains not only a full casino and a full hotel, but it also has a kid-friendly Midway Gaming area and also something they call an Adventure Dome, which has rides and games for all ages to enjoy while you're staying at Circus Circuit. This hotel was a unique experience for the travel nerds. When we went, we definitely had our hopes up for a high trip. We were going to Las Vegas. It was going to be a fun time, but we definitely had our hopes let down at Circus Circus. There was a lot of small things that really just didn't sit well with us, and we definitely had some issues. First off, the hotel itself was old. This place is dated beyond belief, and I honestly think the carpet is the original carpet from 1968. You walk up to this thing, as you could see in the beginning, all the paint's faded on the outside of the building. The sign looks like it's from the 1970s and hasn't been updated since. And when you go inside, all you do is see some dingy, very low-colored stuff, some carpet that looks like it was original, and the smell of smoke everywhere you go. This was the first impression you got of the hotel, and honestly, we didn't get off to a great start. When you arrive at Circus Circus, if you're taking a taxi, if you're taking an Uber, getting dropped off by the Circus Circus sign in the tent entrance there, it's a long while to get to the main desk to check into the hotel. You have to go through these double doors, through the casino, around the corner by the elevators, go through the second part of their casino, then go around another corner, reach the end of the hallway and turn right, and then go down that hallway to reach the main entrance. It takes you a good 6-7 minutes to walk through just to find the entrance to the hotel piece and not the casino, which really struggled for us because we had all our luggage with us. We were confused. There wasn't great signage. You had to keep asking people which way to go and try to find the main lobby check-in, and it just really wasn't a great way to start off your trip and start off your stay at Circus Circus. So if you're going to Circus Circus, be advised, you are going to have a good hike. You are going to need to go through 2 casinos and around a couple of corners and down a couple of hallways to make it to the lobby to check into your hotel. Once you're checked into the hotel, the game a little bit easier. You just had to find your bank of elevators, get into the room. Real simple. One nice feature I will say that they did have, you had to scan your hotel card inside the elevator to get up to your floor, so people who weren't staying in the hotel couldn't get upstairs, and the card only worked for your floor. So we were staying on the 12th floor, so we couldn't get onto 11 or 13. We could only get onto 12 with our key card. Moving on to the rooms. The rooms were okay. The room themselves was decently spacious. We got a king-size bed, we had a table, 2 different chairs, a desk, and then we had a dresser with a TV on it. It was spacious, I'll say that. It wasn't feeling cramped. However, what they gave you in the room, they took away in the bathroom. The bathroom was extremely small. You could fit 1, maybe 2 people in it, and if you were sitting on the toilet, you wouldn't be able to open the door without smacking your knees. So it was definitely a tiny bathroom, but the room itself was decently spacious. Another big thing we found in the rooms is lack of outlets. These rooms were dated. You could completely tell. There were about 3 or 4 different outlets in the room spread across. We wanted to plug our phones in on our nightstand, and we had to try and stretch and move the nightstand over to make the phone fit where the outlets were in the corners. So that was definitely a downside. The other thing you could tell on how this was a dated room, there was no temperature control. There was no thermostat, there was no heater or cooler. All they had was a fan built into the wall that was extremely old and noisy. Every time you turned it on, it made a clanking noise, so we didn't use it. So pretty much you had to open the window if you wanted any type of air. Otherwise, you just stuck with whatever the temperature was in the room. So no climate control, which definitely was a downside to us. Other than that, the rooms were okay. Like I said, it's a hotel room. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's made to get you to sleep, and you could sleep. It was there. They did have a working TV, which was nice. They did have an in-room safe, which is really nice because as we were playing the weekend, we found we won some money. We wanted to keep it so that people wouldn't be going through our rooms and taking our stuff. So we did have an in-room safe, which was definitely useful. But other than that, rooms were not great. This really wasn't a great hotel experience for us. The lack of outlets really was a challenge, more than you would think, because if you're trying to charge your stuff for the plane ride home and also the stuff that you're using while you're on vacation, it really came into a bother to try and find enough to get everything charged. We had to rotate plugs. As I mentioned earlier, Circus Circus did have a Midway Gaming area. So on the second floor of the first casino there in the front, you could go up and they had a full Midway Gaming area with arcade games, old-fashioned carnival games. They had a wide array of things that you could do up there, so that was more of the kid-friendly stuff. If you had kids with you, or you just were tired of playing casino games and losing all your money and wanted to try something different, you could go upstairs, and they had skee-ball, arcade games, the classic carnival games. That was a fun experience for sure. Definitely something to go up and get your mind off of, or something different to experience if you were in the casino for the evening. What you would end up doing is buying a power card, put chips on it, like game chip tokens, and then you would get to play all the games that you wanted to play. Also, normally they do have circus acts that go on in the middle of the Midway Gaming area upstairs. That's free of charge. You can go sit and watch. They do acts. Right now, because of COVID, they were limiting how many shows they were doing a day, and we couldn't unfortunately get to see one live, but they do have a small stage in the middle. So again, something easy to do. Didn't cost you anything. Go up and watch a circus act or two and see some acrobatics and some different things. Moving on to the Adventure Dome. The Adventure Dome is exactly what you would think it is. It just had a bunch more games and actual rides, more like a theme park. They even had a roller coaster in there to do. So it's, again, something else to do with the family that is outside of the gambling atmosphere. Something fun and easy, relaxing to see and cool. It was great. They followed COVID protocol to a T up there. So it was definitely a fun way to go to what you would think a theme park would be right now, even given the COVID status. I do want to mention for a second too, they do have a pool and a splash pad area outside. Again, was closed. This one I don't think was more COVID, just the fact that it was January and only about 50 degrees in Las Vegas, so they didn't really have any of their pools open. But they do have the pool here that we got to at least go by and see, and they had a bunch of slides and everything. It really looks like a fun time, and we're hoping this summer on the next trip out there we'll get a chance to go revisit some of the stuff that was closed, including the pools here, and get you an update on that. Overall, the quality of the hotel wasn't amazing. It was nothing that I would really recommend you stay at unless this is something that you're just trying to get yourself to Vegas for a specific reason. You're trying to find the cheapest hotel you can, and you understand you get what you're paying for. Circus Circus was a letdown. We got a low rate on the hotel room, but keep in mind, as we saw in the earlier video that we did last week, they always have resort fees. So keep in mind, a resort fee is something that's charged above and beyond the hotel fee itself. At Circus Circus, it's $36.28 a night. So no matter what you paid for the room, you're always going to pay this resort fee. And we found that the resort fee was absolutely not worth the value. At Circus Circus, they say their resort fee includes wireless internet, unlimited local and 1-800 number calls on the phone in your hotel room. It also allowed you to get your ticket for your airplane printed at the front desk, and did give you access to their fitness center. Well, first off, their Wi-Fi was terrible. It didn't work, you couldn't connect, and every time I would connect on my laptop or tablet, about 15-20 minutes later, it would log me off and require me to log back in. It was very limited on the upload and download speed. It was not great Wi-Fi at all. We actually had better Wi-Fi by walking 20 feet next door to the casino and going inside the McDonald's. We sat in the McDonald's lobby, had a cup of coffee, and we were getting better Wi-Fi service than we were in our own hotel room. Second off, the unlimited calling we found very redundant in this modern age, because with cell phones we were able to make any call that we needed to do. We never used the hotel rooms. And not only that, with now, especially with COVID protocol, but in general, airlines have gone to a digital check-in. They don't print your tickets until you get to your gate. They give you a boarding pass when you check in your bag. You don't really need your tickets printed out ahead of time because they do it right there for you at the airport. So this resort fee really was a redundant fee, and definitely we did not feel was worth the $36.28 a night that we paid for. Another thing we want to point out outside of the hotel itself is the location of the building. This is located on the southern tip of the Las Vegas Strip. So when you want to go to other casinos, it's not just a hop, skip, and a jump next door like a lot of the other ones. This was down a good ways from any of the other casinos. The closest casinos you'd be hitting would either be the Strat on your left-hand side or going to the Wynn and Encore on your right. Now also note they are building a new resort right now called Resort World. That'll be down closer to them, but that one's still under construction at the time of this video here in February. It's supposed to open in the summer of 21. So if you're trying to go anywhere, if you want to check out other casinos and do some of the other attractions in Vegas, be prepared. You're going to need to get an Uber, going to need to use the busing system, going to need to do something because walking is going to take you a very long time to get down to the thick of the Strip where the other stuff is. So again, this is another reason we don't recommend this resort because it's so far out of the way of stuff. You've pretty much got to use transit to get anywhere to or from that hotel. Last big thing we want to highlight is the restaurants and available eating. When it comes to lunch and dinner, the Circus Circus is actually a very good place to eat. They have a world-renowned steakhouse that is phenomenal, located in their lobby. Definitely something we would actually recommend to eat at for dinner. And they have a really nice restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant called the Blue Iguana. Definitely was a nice place. We didn't get a chance to eat there, but we did get to view it a little bit. We did get to walk by it a couple of times. It looked like a great atmosphere. It was definitely, they had a lot of options, and they had a lunch and dinner menu. So they had a bunch of options for you and a bunch of opportunity. They also have a deli that you can access, and they even have a small pizzeria too. We ate pizza there on the first night. It was actually pretty good pizza. They had a bunch of different options and things. It was great. But when it comes to breakfast, this hotel, for whatever reason, decided that breakfast just wasn't an important meal of the day, and we didn't need to eat it. There was nothing in this hotel to eat for breakfast. The only thing they had offered was a Krispy Kreme. So you could get donuts in the hotel. But other than that, there was no restaurant that offered breakfast. The Starbucks was closed until further notice, so you couldn't even get a cup of coffee unless you went to the Krispy Kreme. There was no breakfast offerings that we could find in that hotel. We ended up leaving and going to the McDonald's next door to get a breakfast sandwich on our way down the Strip and got a nicer brunch at one of the other hotels. We went to the Wynn and got a brunch, and then another day we went down towards New York, and got brunch down there because there's just no breakfast offerings in this resort. It shocked me to no end, but there was no breakfast. The other thing is, too, everything was closing early, and this is part of a COVID thing right now. But, again, if you wanted to try and get a drink for your room, non-alcoholic, just a bottle of water or something like that, we had a big struggle with that. Everything was closing around 8 or 9 o'clock, and there really was no way to get anything to your room inside the casino. We actually had to leave and go down the Strip a little bit to an outside store. There's a CVS down there right on the corner that we went to and got some drinks for our room because we couldn't get anything after about 9 o'clock in the hotel unless you went to the bar and sat down at the bar to get a drink there. So definitely not something we'd recommend there. If you're doing breakfast, either plan to go to a different casino or bring your own breakfast because you're not going to find anything in Circus Circus. Overall, this is not really a resort we'd recommend. We gave it a 1.5 out of 5-star rating on our system. Definitely check it out. I put a link down in the bio, but we have a one sheet that we highlighted everything that we found in this hotel, explaining the 1.5-star rating that you can click and download. And of course, all the information is available on our website at rjttravels.com. But this resort really was a letdown for us. You know, it really comes down to the adage of you get what you pay for. This resort was a very old hotel, outdated, faded. They couldn't even fix the paint on the outside of their building. They literally look like they're still in 1968, and it shows desperately. Their offerings were subpar. Their resort fee is a joke because everything they claim to offer in the resort fee, we either didn't have any ability or need to use, or we tried to use and we couldn't even get the capability to use. It's a bad location on the Strip. If you're trying to do the touristy stuff and go through, New York and see the Big Apple Coaster or go down to the Coca-Cola and M&M store, any of those things, see the Mirage and the Volcano or see the boats at Treasure Island or the water show at the Bellagio, all of that's on the other side of the Strip. So you're going to need transportation. You're going to need to take a bus or an Uber and make sure you give yourself enough time to get down there because it's just not a great location. Honestly, if you're trying to get into Vegas for a specific reason, if you're just trying to get a hotel room for the night and you don't care about anything but having a bed, Circus Circus might be the hotel for you. But if you're going for the tourist experience, if you're going to have a nice vacation and really have a good time, I would highly recommend you check out another resort and not stay at Circus Circus. We appreciate you taking the time with us on this. We're going to be heading back out to Vegas here in a few months and doing another set of resort reviews, so we'll have additional information for you guys to see. Do us a favor, leave it in the comments which resort you'd like to see us do next. We're always open to comments and checking out what the fans would like us to do, so definitely leave a comment below, let us know. Check us out on social media and let us know on there where you'd like us to see next in Vegas. You know, we love going to Vegas. There's so many fun things to do. Definitely check out our channel in the next few weeks too. We're going to have additional videos on different things in Vegas to do, and check out our blog online. We put some new stuff about Vegas on there as well, so there's a whole plethora of information what's coming to Vegas now that it's back opened up. We've had some access to it, can do some really fun things, so we really appreciate the support, guys. If you can think of anything else, leave a comment below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Make sure to click that alert button and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.